who you are and so have forgotten me. Look inside yourself, Simba. You are more than what you have become. You must take your place in the circle of life.
It's really Hamlet too, isn't it? The circle of life is a strong African theme in African religion, in African daily life, in African art. Most African art is based on the cycle of life, birth, death, and so on.
You try and go through life worried if somebody like you or not. You best make sure that they are doing right by you.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. 3GW here, back again, but not the normal circumstance, unfortunately. I believe it was yesterday. An icon, not just in our community, Black community, but in the film community, passed away. Somebody that I've, been watching since my childhood. Probably the same for Rob. And it can't be understated, the word icon for this man. Not just the roles that you see in movies and his voice work, but on the stage as well, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Mr. James Earl. Can't believe it, man. Can't believe. I've been like, because every Star Wars they put out and Darth Vader's in there, he's been able to still record and still, be a part of the show. And now, it's gonna be tough to know that Darth Vader's gone. Like you can't replace that. You can replace a man in a suit. You cannot. There will never ever be another James Earl Jones. So that being said, Mr. Ambassador, I want to let you kick it off. What's your earliest memory of Mr. Jones?
Well, as I always say, I'm a little older than you. I'm much older than you, actually. My first memory of him is before Star Wars. When I was a kid, in 1970, he starred in a movie called The Great White Hope, and it was loosely based on heavyweight Jack Johnson, who was, I believe, the first Black heavyweight champion at a time when, obviously, this would go back to the early 1900s, when that was not, it was not a good thing for him.
James Earl Jones, that movie too.
Excuse me. Yeah, he did. He played the role on Broadway first and won an Emmy Award for his portrayal of Jack Jefferson, he was called in the movie, but everyone knew that it was based on Jack Johnson. So when the movie came out, I was only 4 years old, so I didn't see it until years later as a TV movie, sitting in the living room watching it with my parents and my little sisters. Now, at the time, some of the subject matter went over my head a little bit, but the one thing that was undeniable is James Earl Jones just had such a presence. He was just such a force of nature in that role. And then obviously that iconic voice along with it, I was just really mesmerized by that whole performance. And I own that movie. I've actually owned it for a very long time. I still go back and I watch it because it still brings back those childhood memories and those same feelings. And then, of course, it was a few years after that the role that probably he is most famous for in 1977, the voice of Darth Vader in Star Wars. And then anyone at that time who didn't know who James Earl Jones was definitely knew who he was shortly after that.
Yeah, for me, I want to say it had to be either Coming to America or The Sandlot was probably when I first saw him. But he's also known for Field of Dreams. I'm trying to figure out which one I saw first. Because Come to America came out the year after I was born, so obviously I didn't see it. in '88. But so it was one of those. But when I really, really, really knew him for was playing Mufasa.
Who you are, and so have forgotten me. Look inside yourself, Simba. You are more than what you have become. You must take your place in the circle of life.
It's the voice of Lion King, and growing up, and I actually found out after that because just when I was born, I didn't know, and there wasn't for all y'all out, millennials out there. There was no, I couldn't look up stuff on the phone. I had
Right,
you
right,
had to look stuff up in books,
right.
so I didn't know that he was. So after Mufasa, I found out, oh, that's the guy that voiced Darth Vader. I was like, oh shit, wow. Um, and such a strong, prominent presence in that movie too. Just that voice, that deep dad voice reminded me of my own father. Like, yeah, this hits home right here. And then if you ain't seen the Lion King by now, I ain't got nothing to tell you, whatever. So when he died, I felt that. It's like,
Yeah,
oh goodness. Um, and then he did it again when they remade live action, quote unquote, Lion King. He was Mufasa again, and they even actually have a Mufasa movie coming out. Um, I don't know if he was able to see a copy of that or not, but that finished product, maybe. He's James Earl Jones to me. Who knows? He got all kind of pull. Um, yeah, that Sandlot. That's probably one of my low key favorite roles of his. He when they finally get behind the fence and the dog really isn't a monster dog. I mean, he's big, but and then he's like, if y'all came and knocked on the door, I would have got it for you.
yeah. What's great about James Earl Jones is he was 93 years old. He lived a long, blessed life, but people my generation and my parents' generation, they are very familiar with James Earl Jones, and then people, your generation, uh, truly, his works spanned many generations. The voice of God, some people call him. He one of the voice characterizations he did was actually reading the King James version of the Bible, and at that time it was one of the highest selling audio Bibles of the time. Obviously, with that incredible voice, but and you keep going back to that voice. I mean, has there ever been? Will there ever be a voice so recognizable as James Earl Jones?
Nope.
It's yeah.
I I have a fond memory of him on one of my favorite TV shows. Also, he did a cameo on Big Bang Theory when they were
Yes.
trying to go to Comic-Con, and
Right.
Sheldon was trying to come up with his own comic book convention, and somehow he met James Earl Jones at a restaurant, and
Yeah.
they went out into town, and it was just this other side of James that you don't really get to see that often. He was joking and going. They were going to clubs and sitting in the saunas and all that stuff. I was like, this is cool. This is a side. And then they actually the ding dong ditch Carrie Fisher, so she was still alive when that happened too. So
Yeah.
that was a good memory too. That was probably one of the jovial memories.
Yeah. He actually had a couple of comedic roles. He starred in Meteor Man.
Yeah, with the wigs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
remember
was,
that movie.
and
Yeah.
it was always really funny to see him in those roles because he had a reputation. He was such a serious actor. He on
Right,
Broadway, he played Othello and King Lear,
right.
and then now here he is doing these humorous roles. It was really refreshing to see.
Yeah, it was. I know Robert Townsend. Jesus, I'm getting all these Roberts.
Right.
Uh, Robert Townsend pulled all the strings he could to get that cast of Meteor Man. Like, make all the jokes you want about Meteor Man, but look at that cast: Don Cheadle, Bill Cosby made a cameo. Well, I mean, I won't talk about him, but but at the time he was a big name. Uh,
Right.
Luther Vandross was in there. Like I said, James Earl Jones, Eddie Griffin is in there. I mean, I forgot the cat's name. He was in Five Heartbeats. Light skinned cat played the villain. Um, Can't think of his name right now. But
I can't either. But are you talking? He played Big Red.
Yeah, he was the leader of the Golden Lords. I can't think of his name.
Okay, yeah, but I can't remember his name either.
But yeah, great cast. Tiny Lister was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's real quick talk about that Broadway his stage acting, because there's a clip that's now recirculating when he did that scene, the famous scene from Fences.
Oh.
When he's talking to his son. And I mean that's just like that's how I was raised. I mean, maybe not that harsh, but similar, where men didn't say to their children, at least, "I love you." They showed their love through their actions, and it came out in that speech where it's like, "Yeah, clothes on your back, got a roof over your head, you eating my food in your belly, you laying up sleeping in my bed, and you got the nerve to sit up here and ask if I like you." You know, I mean, he did. Like, can't nobody deliver it like him. I mean, Denzel was close.
Yeah.
I thought he did good too, but when I saw James, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like you. Who in the hell ever said, I got to like you? What law is there to say, I got to like you? Do you want to stand up in my face and ask me some damn fool-ass question like that? Talking about liking somebody. Come here, boy, when I talk to you. Straighten up, goddammit. Ask your question. What law is there to say, I got to like you?
None.
All right, then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah.
Nigga, as long as you living in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
And clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it's because of me. Why do you think that is?
Because you're like me.
Like you. I go out of here every morning and bust my butt putting up with them crackers all day long because I like you. You is the biggest fool I ever saw. It is my job. It is my responsibility. You understand that? A man got to take care of his family. You live in my house. You sleep your behind on my bedclothes. You put my food in your belly because you are my son. You are my flesh and blood, not because I like you. It is my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. Wait now. Let's get this straight right now. We'll go along any further. I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand, don't give me my money come payday because he liked me. He give me because he owe me. Now, I didn't give you everything I had to give you. I gave you your life. Your mama and me worked it out between us. And liking your black ass was not a part of the bargain, and don't you try and go through life worried if somebody like you or not. You best make sure that they are doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying, boy?
Yeah, and I don't know if you've had a chance to read any of the tributes, but one of the kindest tributes came from Denzel Washington, who he said, for him, James Earl Jones was the North Star. That was who he wanted to be. Like James Earl Jones, Denzel Washington started on Broadway. And so obviously seeing the ground that James Earl Jones had laid that he could walk on, yeah, he was just that is who he wanted to be. Those are his words.
Yeah. It's gotta be interesting being Denzel Washington because so now he lost the guy he looked up to, but he also, what was it, 2020? Lost his protege, Chadwick Boseman.
Yep.
It's like both sides of the spectrum. And he put Chadwick through college.
Yeah.
And Chadwick took off. And he's but the beautiful thing is Chadwick is enshrined forever as Black Panther. I mean, they might recast him one day, but nobody will ever look at that person the same. When it comes to James Earl Jones, same thing. You can't I mean, with AI now, they probably don't have to try to recast or have somebody else play Vader. I mean, at this point, just leave Vader alone.
Yeah,
There's
it's
really
tough
nothing else
because
you can do with it.
yeah, I think they've pretty much milked it for all they can. I mean, that doesn't mean they won't try to do more, but with AI technology, I think you would have to get the approval of his estate to do that. But I mean, if Disney decided that they did want to use his voice for Darth Vader at some point, I'm sure price would be no object.
No, they did it for Rogue One.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't just use the man's voice; they used him.
yeah,
Digitally put him in the movie. It's like, oh, wow. And it looked like he was really there. I mean, that'd be kind of creepy to me. That's just me. Um, but yeah, some of the movies, like I said, Field of Dreams, Lion King, obviously Star Wars, Sandlot. But one that sticks out for me was a more recent movie. One of the last movies he did came out in 2008 was Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, when he played Martin's dad.
yes. My wife and I watched that one maybe just a couple of months ago. We watched that one.
Yeah, I watched it recently too, and I mean, it still holds up, and he's great in it too.
Yeah,
And yeah, I was glad to see him in that. And I always said, like, man, I hope he just keeps on acting, keep on. Because how old is Clint Eastwood? Damn it, because he is still
Clint Eastwood, man, he's in his 80s at least, and he is still
no,
acting
he's in his
and
90s.
directing. Is he 90?
Oh yeah,
Okay. Yeah, he's still acting and directing. He directed The Mule just a couple of years ago. Yeah, he's still.
94 years old.
I did not know Clint. So he's older than James.
Yeah.
I had no idea Clint was that old. I knew he was up there, but I thought he had. I didn't think he had made 90 yet.
Oh yeah, I knew he made 90. Well yeah, The Mule was a good movie. Yeah, I agree. Uh, so we just wanted to kind of come on here and excuse me, I'm dealing with a cold. That's why one of the reasons we ain't done what we supposed to been doing. Uh, we wanted to come on here and just pay tribute to a legend, icon, just a true one of a kind. I mean, we've lost others this year. I mean, you could throw out now I'm drawing a blank on his name. Rocky, Apollo
Rocky.
Creed.
Oh, Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers, yes.
Yes.
I made that out.
Oh,
So
I'm like, wait, Sylvester Stallone died?
no. Like somebody like Carl Weathers, that's another, icon I would consider. Maybe not quite at the level of James, obviously, but still somebody that a lot of people looked up to and had a lot of ties to, and they were heartbroken when he passed. It was kind of out of nowhere. Um, so yeah, um, let us know in the comments your all's thoughts and your fondest memories of James, or maybe your favorite role of his, and maybe we can do after we get done with that Bat and that Robin, we can do do a James Earl Jones, movie. A movie that's not Star Wars, obviously. We one of the non-Star Wars films we could talk about. But yeah. Rob, you got anything else you want to put out there?
Well, you know, we know James Earl Jones. We're all fans. So to fans around the world who are saddened, but he also was a family man, and so we want to give our condolences to his family. It's always sad when you lose an icon, and sometimes I think that word icon, genius, legend is thrown around too casually. In this case, it is absolutely appropriate. So rest in peace. Thank you for so many memories truly that will last a lifetime. Star Wars will last forever.
Yes.
The Lion King will last forever. Just that voice, that incredible voice will is forever.
Yeah. And those eyes. Man, got some eyes on him.
Yeah, and he could be such a menacing presence at times in his films, but everyone who I've heard talk about him says he was just a real gentle soul, just such a kind, gentle human. And and just a quick fact as we leave, he's so famous for his voice, but do you know that as a young child he had a stuttering problem?
Yeah, stutter, yeah.
Yeah, so he acting and having to memorize scripts and everything helped him with his speech pattern and gave him the confidence that he needed to get past that issue. Just really amazing.
It just goes to show you, you're only limited to what you limit yourself to.
True, very true.
Sometimes you just got to put yourself out there, try. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you all want to share about James Earl Jones. Yeah, some of your earliest memories or your latest memories, depending on how old you are. And we appreciate you all sticking with us. Game streams will keep going, but I can't do a movie review with this going on.
Well, get well.
Yeah. But we're gonna get to that Batman Robin, I promise. I already got the clips loaded. I'm ready to go. Just
I already got my comments loaded, ready to
go. I'm sure. I am sure. Like I thought, just a quick aside, I thought that I'll be a few things here, like this scene, this scene, this. No, it was like, shit. I gotta shit up, shit. Woo. But again, be looking, be on the lookout for that one. That was gonna be fun. So take care, everybody. We'll speak to y'all again soon. Peace.